The name Frank Abagnale Jr. whispers through the annals of crime. A boy, barely a man who danced with deception. He played a dangerous game, a game of masks and mirrors. His stage was the world itself, his audience an unsuspecting populace. Few could comprehend the sheer audacity. He was a phantom, a whisper of unease in the corridors of power and finance. His story is not just one of clever tricks, it is a descent into a labyrinth of lies. Between the ages of 16 and 21 he wove a web so intricate, so vast, it defied belief. Millions of dollars vanished into thin air, spirited away by a mind that saw loopholes where others saw solid walls. He was not merely a thief, he was an artist of illusion, a maestro of manipulation. The world was his canvas and he painted it with false identities and forged realities. Pan Am pilot, respected doctor, learned lawyer, esteemed professor, he was all of them and none of them. Each persona was a carefully constructed facade designed to disarm and deceive. This is the tale of that shadow. A journey into the heart of a con man whose brilliance was matched only by his capacity for deceit. The echoes of his exploits still linger, a testament to a truly unbelievable life. The seeds of deception are often sown in fractured soil. Frank William Abagnale Jr. was born into a world that, for him, would soon splinter. His parents' divorce seemed to unlock something within the young boy. A fissure appeared in his understanding of stability, of truth. He was just a teenager when the shadows first beckoned. His father, a man Frank idolized, unknowingly provided some early lessons in charm and influence. His first forays into crime were almost childishly simple, yet they held the kernel of his future genius. The gasoline credit card scheme was a test, a tentative step into the world of fraud. He used his father's credit card to buy tires, batteries, and other auto parts, then returned them for cash. The store clerks, charmed by his youthful confidence, rarely questioned him. He discovered a thrill in the act, a rush of power that came with outsmarting the system. The ease of these early deceptions emboldened him. He learned quickly that people wanted to believe. The path ahead was shrouded in uncertainty, but one thing was clear. Frank Abagnale Jr. was stepping out of the light and into a life defined by shadows and subterfuge. The world of aviation, with its crisp uniforms and air of authority, beckoned to young Frank. It was a realm of perceived glamour and unquestioned respect. What better disguise for a master of deception? He decided he would become a Pan-American World Airways pilot. Not through years of training, of course, but through sheer audacity. He was only 16. He obtained a uniform by calling Pan Am's purchasing department, claiming he was a pilot who had lost his. A new one was promptly provided. He then forged an FAA pilot's license and an airline ID badge. With his forged credentials and a confident swagger, he began to deadhead on Pan Am flights. He flew over 1 million miles, crisscrossing the globe, living a life most could only dream of. He stayed in luxurious hotels, ate fine meals, all paid for by the airline he was defrauding. He learned the jargon, the routines, the subtle cues of an experienced pilot simply by observing and listening. The risk was immense, the tension a constant companion. The higher he flew, the more devastating the inevitable fall would be. After the skies grew too perilous, Frank Abagnale Jr. sought refuge in the quiet corridors of medicine. He landed in Georgia, and with a forged Harvard Medical School diploma, transformed himself into Dr. Frank Connors. He became a resident supervisor at a local hospital. He had no medical training, yet he was entrusted with overseeing interns. He relied on the interns to handle most medical emergencies, deferring to their judgment. The charade as a pediatrician nearly ended in disaster. During one overnight shift, he was confronted with a blue baby emergency, an infant struggling to breathe. He had no idea what to do. Fortunately, the nurses and interns managed the situation without his input, saving the child's life. He realized the stakes were too high, the risk of causing irreparable harm too great. He quietly left the hospital. Undeterred, he forged a Harvard Law School transcript and passed the state bar exam in Louisiana. He secured a job with the Louisiana Attorney General's office. He briefly taught sociology at Brigham Young University, using yet another set of forged credentials. Section 5. The Art of the Steal. Mastering the paper chase, Frank Abagnale Jr.'s genius lay in check fraud. He revolutionized forgery methods, he exploited banking vulnerabilities, a piece of paper with the right codes held power. He swindled millions before he was 21. His techniques were varied and ingenious. He studied checks, inks, and printing methods. He printed perfect Pan Am payroll checks. He altered MyCR codes to delay detection. He added his account number to deposit slips. His check fraud operations were staggering. He operated internationally. Banks were outmaneuvered by a teenager. Section 6. A ghost in the machine, evading the unseen hunters. As Frank Abagnale Jr.'s exploits grew bolder, so too did the efforts to catch him. The Federal Bureau of Investigation became acutely aware of a sophisticated and elusive forger. Agent Carl Hanratty, a composite figure representing the relentless pursuit of the law, became his unseen nemesis. A grim cat-and-mouse game began, played out across continents. Hanratty was the seasoned hunter, methodical and determined. Abagnale was the nimble prey, always one step ahead, or so it seemed. The tension of this chase underscored every move Frank made, a constant shadow lengthening behind him. His ability to evade capture for so long was legendary. He changed identities as easily as he changed clothes. One day he was a pilot, the next a doctor, then disappearing into the anonymity of a new city, a new name. He was a master of disguise, not just in terms of profession but in appearance and demeanor. He understood the importance of blending in, of becoming invisible. Each close call, each near miss, only sharpened his survival instincts. The FBI, relentless and patient, was always there, a faceless entity slowly, inexorably closing in. Section 7. The net closes, capture, and the weight of justice. For 5 years, Frank Abagnale Jr. eluded international law enforcement, but reality eventually asserts itself. The world was not large enough to hide him forever. In 1969, at 21, his run ended. A former girlfriend recognized him from a wanted poster. He was arrested in Montpellier, France. The conditions in Perpignan prison were harsh. He endured unimaginable squalor. After 6 months, he was extradited to Sweden. There, he faced trial and served 6 more months. Eventually, he was deported to the U.S. to face federal charges. The boy who played many roles faced consequences under his own name. Section 8. From Predator to Protector. An Unlikely Alliance. The darkness of a federal prison cell could have been the final act in Frank Abagnale Jr.'s dramatic life. But fate, it seemed, had one more astonishing twist in store. After serving less than 5 years of his 12-year sentence, the United States federal government made him an offer. It was an offer that must have sounded surreal. His early release, on the condition that he would assist the FBI, without pay, in investigating and preventing fraud. The irony was palpable. The man who had once been one of their most wanted fugitives was now being recruited to join their side. Initially, the arrangement was fraught with suspicion. FBI agents, many of whom had spent years chasing him, were understandably wary. Could a man so adept at deception truly be trusted? Could he genuinely turn his formidable talents towards good? Abagnale, however, saw an opportunity, perhaps not just for freedom, but for a different kind of life. He began to work with various federal law enforcement agencies, sharing his unparalleled insights into the mind of a con artist. Slowly, cautiously, a working relationship began to form. The man who had once been a symbol of audacious criminality was now embarking on a journey towards an unlikely redemption. Section 9. The Legacy of a Transformed Life. A Final Reckoning. Frank Abagnale Jr.'s work with the FBI marked a profound transformation. He embarked on a legitimate career as remarkable as his criminal past. He became a sought-after security consultant advising on fraud prevention. The man who bypassed defenses was now designing them. His clients included the largest financial institutions. His company, Abagnale and Associates, led in fraud prevention. He developed secure checks and anti-counterfeiting measures. He lectured extensively, illustrating vulnerabilities and the importance of vigilance. His unique perspective gave him an unparalleled edge. Frank Abagnale Jr.'s legacy is a complex tapestry of darkness and light. He was a prodigious criminal who caused immense financial damage, yet he became a powerful force for good, rectifying the harm he once inflicted. His story is a reminder of system vulnerabilities and the capacity for profound change. His final reckoning was a lifetime spent undoing the damage he once wrought, a testament to a redeemed life.